Hello DragonCrafters, this is Warcrow from DragonCraft Productions and welcome to Gaming Insider. This time we'll be talking about Metal Gear Solid and more specifically, the Enfants Terrible project. Damn, my friends. There are a lot of mysteries in the Metal Gear universe. The most profound one has to be the Enfants Terrible project, or else the Terrible Children project. In a world ravaged by war and where nuclear bipolar tanks are created, there was need of super soldiers. However, training and harboring those soldiers would take time, and time wasn't in the equation in the plans of the philosophers and later on the patriots. Therefore, both groups, in their respective times, tried to create such soldiers with any way possible. The philosophers first sought to train soldiers from a very young age and have them learn as many aspects of war as possible, including espionage or charm schools. While it was an efficient way to create them, the philosophers wanted more and wanted it more quickly. They started doing a lot of different experiments. The greatest one was the Cobra Unit. Cobra Unit was a team of super soldiers, two of which inflicted with parasite therapy. All of them had a code name that fit them, their biggest feeling while they were fighting, and the leader of that unit was the Boss, a renowned American female soldier and a World War II ace in the hole. The Cobra Unit heavily influenced the outcome of the war itself, undertaking missions that normal soldiers wouldn't even dream about. During Operation Snake Eater, an undercover special agent, Naked Snake, proved his unmatched skill in combat by successfully completing his mission. Recover the Philosopher's Legacy, basically a huge amount of money, destroy Shagahod, a massive tank with nuclear capabilities, defeat the entirety of the Cobra Unit, including his own mentor, the Boss, and all that he did solo. To achieve that, he didn't only rely on his fighting prowess, but survival skills, stealth mechanics, the ability to think on the spot and take according actions, spy tactics among other skills, was what Snake used to succeed. Because of all this, he was given the title of Big Boss, surpassing even the boss herself, and he was often regarded as the legendary soldier. It was apparent that the world needed such soldiers. However, the likes of Big Boss weren't just lying around ready to be grasped and sent into the field. The Cobra Unit was bred into battle as some of its members used parasites to enhance their abilities. Although being a natural fast learner, it took Naked Snake years to reach the peak of his true strength. And besides, what was a guarantee that a soldier like Big Boss could emerge even after years of training? The leader of the Patriots, Zero, was one of the first to think about such things. Wanting to bring their world together, unified under his control, Zero sought to create clones of Big Boss himself, believing that to be the fastest and most efficient way to create an army of super soldiers. When Big Boss learned about it afterwards, he felt disgusted by it and left the organizations, and Zero went into hiding. Dr. Clark, known as Paramedic, was in charge of this operation. Paramedic took an egg from her Japanese assistant, fertilized it with Big Boss's DNA, transferred it to Eva's womb, who was to serve as the surrogate mother. Of course, to reach these points, a lot of failed experiments occurred. However, this time they were successful. Out of the 8 embryos created by the fertilized egg, 6 were intentionally aborted in order to promote growth of the other 2. Paramedic went even further with her experiment, modifying the embryos so that each would receive Big Boss's dominant and recessive genes, all to create a genetically superior soldier. The genetically superior would be known as Liquid Snake, while the inferior would be called Solid Snake. The project had succeeded. Morality issues aside, there were 2 living, breathing clones of Big Boss himself, 2 people that had natural-born fighting capabilities that matched of their father. Later on, a 3rd clone was created, but this time no further modifications were used, thus creating a perfect clone of Big Boss. That clone was called Solidus Snake. The project was abandoned in 1976 after complaints were filed by a major biotechnology company. No further experiments were conducted to create direct clones of the legendary soldier. However, his DNA was still much sought by Zero and others in order to use his genes in other experiments. Despite the success of the Enfants Terrible project, there were some drawbacks. Since Big Boss was at his 40s when his DNA was taken, that genetic information was passed to his clones. Furthermore, the Patriots themselves wrote accelerated aging into their genes as a safe plan to protect genetic information getting into enemy hands, or if the clones themselves turn against the Patriots, much like their father. Due to soldiers directly opposing the organization, he seemed much more aged than his two brothers, despite being born after them. Also, all three clones couldn't reproduce. Lastly, Terminator genes were added in the mix, so the clones themselves couldn't be cloned. Because of this, instead of direct cloning Big Boss through his DNA, scientists, with Paramedic being the leading authority in this, they used it part of their genes to modify soldiers' DNA in order to enhance their abilities rather than just copy it. One such result is the Genome Soldier project, a top secret Black Ops unit which also served to be a reserve unit for Foxhound. While it was successful as a project itself, it raised many questions around the world and it caused various problems with it. Zero wanted to create clones of Big Boss in order to unify the world, believing he was carrying out the boss's vision. However, his plan got twisted, and instead of connecting the dots, more were created, and warfare evolved to an alarming situation. This is what the Enfants terrible project is. A project of genetic cloning bred for just one purpose: war. And this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. You can click on the videos you can see on your screen for more such videos. If you have any recommendations or requests for such videos, post so in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it and subscribe to the channel for more content. Have a good one.